Hi there, I'm Grey Hunter and welcome to Distant Hills Universe. With Distant Hill 2 on the horizon, I thought it's about time I did a video LP of this one. I love this game, I've been playing it since the first Distant Hills came out, so it should be interesting. If you haven't got a clue what it is, it's a 4X on a massive scale, but with massive amounts of automation. So, there's thousands of ships, thousands of planets, hundreds of planets, but you can get away with like managing your empire, just jumping off the bits you don't find interesting. I've put tax regs, population policies, troop recruitment. I'm going to control ship design, research, fleet formation and character allocations, but you can turn those off. I'm also basically manually doing most of this stuff because I don't want the AI dropping huge amounts of money or signing peace treaties. There is actually a viable option for this, however, that you can just automate it and just play as a fleet commander or a single captain. Maybe like the military leader or just a civilian leader and like wars fight themselves. There's lots of options you can do. Anyway, we're going to be starting a new game. I want a custom game. I normally play Age of Shadows, but for this one I'm going to go classical because it's a bit quicker, you have a hyperdrive. Yeah, it's not bad. 700 I find it, I haven't done it on my new computer, but normally above 700 is an extremely long game and you do end up lagging out memory leaks, which is something I hope the sequel fixes. I quite like this, and Spiral Galaxy is kind of a nice mix. You can see you've got ring, elliptical, evenly clustered and various. Irregular works as well, but I quite like Spiral, classic. And I've gone for the Hakonish. So, the Hakonish, bipedal reptilian race, and there's no quoctopuses unfortunately. Hopefully the sequel will fix that. Intelligent, quite aggressive. It's probably easy to go down to this now. Marshy Swamp, 16% about average. Aggressive, cautious, for friendly, that doesn't really matter too much for me. Basically I get a massive bonus for spies and ship maintenance. I want to be carrying intelligence missions, trade bonus. I want to control restricted resources, so looking for those quite important. And I want to be injecting intelligence missions, so I'm basically very much the tradey spy guys. I get an extra intelligence agents. I'm more likely to get scientists and intelligence agents, but less likely to get ambassadors. Mercantile Guild and the Mega Density Fuel Cell. I made larger ship size. The Mega Density, I think I will explain more when we're in game, but that is part of the reason I picked these guys. Normal difficulty, I don't find it changes that much. Normal approval, growth rate, so 30% colony income, ships and troops, maintenance and -10. Overall, Mercantile Guild's quite a nice one. You do have stuff like military dictatorship, which means you can go to war quite easily. Democracy, which is really good in a lot of things, but you get more corruption. Republic, corruption, and yeah, just all the way up to like full despotism or feudalism. But we're mercantile. We have the Trade Federation. And honestly, that's probably what I'm going to be named as to. We'll get a random thing. So it's going to create a galaxy. This will take a little bit. Not too bad though. Because, yeah, it is a relatively old game, 2014. And we are the Vinar Consortium. I quite like that. Pause. So yes, you can pause at any time. So this is our world. We are Veneer 3, the marshy world with 10 billion Hakonish on board. We have a fleet that amounts to a bunch of mining stations, some escorts, and some frigates, none of which are very powerful. We also have a civilian fleet. So this is the thing that's quite important to understand. And if I go up to my diplomacy screen, not the one next to it. So, we have a state economy and a private economy. So all goods for this game need to be shipped around. So, we're here on Hakenage, we're only producing chromium. That's not a great start. We have got a mine space on the moon for near, which will be mining as Nictarian incense. Ooh, that's one of the very rare ones. And silicon. So this has to be moved from here to our planet. And if you build something, if I build the Lucky Guardian, it will need like huge amounts of chromium and like metals. And they need to come from somewhere. There's a galactic market, but a lot of it will be these civilian ships. So freighters. Small freighter here, Curious Princess. We'll go to this place, they'll pick it up, they'll ship it to the planet, and we'll end up with a stockpile here. And expansion planets, there we go. This shows us like the price of an item, how much is filled in our empire. So we want huge amounts, so it's 900.9k. And we have stores of hydrogen, calcium, steel, silicon, lead, polymer, carbon fiber, chromium, all that. All these give you different advantages, especially as luxury goods. We've got nothing we can colonize. So yeah, as you expand out there, so this is our system. As you can see, we've got a planet, we've got a moon, we're next to another planet with a moon, and there's 2 more planets here. Sometimes you get dropped lucky. My best, I had 3 planets in my home system. Okay, got some mining station or research station, that's nice. Mostly gas giants with a few surrounding moons. So that means we've got good supplies of gases which are used for fuel. And hopefully the mining will build up for these steel and iridiums. This is actually quite a nicely dense populated system. We're right next to a black hole, the Devil's Desolation, which will give us a weapons research bonus if we build there. And yeah, looking good. Quite a nice little dense bit off on the Vin. Not a bad starting position. So, first up, let's have a look at our characters. So we've got a governor, who we don't know anything about yet. A leader, who's the galactic leader. He's giving us a diplomacy bonus because he's energetic. He's not the greatest of leaders, normally have more traits than that. And then 2 spies, who we'll get to when we find another race. We'll hopefully get scientists and admirals and stuff like that as we go. We only have 1 colony, which is 87% quality. They think the tax rate's too high. Then, happiness. And it's making us 190k. So top corner here, 38k, income 34k a year, and 15 a bonus, which I think is trade. Research, we're not researching any weapons. So we'll get enhanced beams and efficient blasters. And then high density alloys. Get some better armor in. So I've queued those up, they should go. Energy, we're going supercharging, then we'll go for enhanced shields. And this is why, no, it's actually high tech. Then I'm going to go for fast mining afterwards. So basically, that's a better engine, better shields to be used by that engine. Then we're building countermeasures. So, this is where that little piece of tech I was talking about, the compressed fuel storage. So you can see everyone's got their visual text. We get each and only compressed fuel storage. That gives us a fuel capacity of 140. Why is this so good? Fuel is quite important in this game. Quite a lot of it is your guys running out of fuel very easily until you get higher fuel levels. So, most people are starting with basic or standard fuel cells, which is 65. We've got 140. 120 is, I think, the best anyone else can get. So, we are starting with 20 more fuel than the best anyone else in the game can get. That is how important this is, and how that will basically mean we can move further for longer with less refueling than anyone else in the game. Which is impressive, unless I'm stupid and accidentally trade that technology away. Anyway, we'll unpause. And we have system map for 2,000 credits. I'll take it. X zoo no longer needs to be done because there's no planet. There's one planet there, 4 moons. There's a planet here with 4 moons. That's pretty cool. I've not seen that before. Although they haven't given us any resources. So, and one thing we will do is we will accept their 114 credit a month protection. Just because early game, until we've got these new ships out, we are going to be a little bit weak. I will link below, but I've done a couple of text-based, and in one of them, I got annihilated repeatedly by pirates in the opening game. This would be just pulse blasters, approved to refit. So these are our scout ships going out. And they found new worlds. So every time they go into a system, that's a lot of gas giants. And then we've got okay, continental moon. Okay, I'm going to be switching up our research. Because that isn't too far away from what we can get. So, we're on countermeasures here. We'll cancel that. We'll go continental and then marshy swamp colonization. This world is quality 80, which means it's only a little bit worse than what we've got. We can't colonize it at the moment, but that is a good start. So if I go back to our reconstructing new civilian ships, acquired civilian construction speed. So he is now giving the entire empire a 4% boost to civilian construction speed. Which is nice. Not a bad little start. And of course, everyone is here. We've got Dathomir. Dathomir, you know, may just end up being a mining world. Now, I won't be sending out many mining ships because the filling of colony will do that. And we're straight in there with a new empire. The Mortalian Enclave. The Mortalians are distant relatives that may be favourable to us, so we've run into one of their ships down here. So they are also out scouting. So we can now open up the diplomacy screen. They are annoyed, they trust. So everyone starts off with, oh my god, we just met aliens. Distrust, but that will quickly pass. These guys are also reptiles, which means they're slightly more likely to like us. They're very aggressive, very unfriendly. These guys are quite warmongers. They're a feudalist government with one colony, so yeah. What I'm going to do now is pick one of our you. Your mission is counter-espionage, I want. Mission type, counterintelligence, and the Mortalian Empire. For a year. Right, so that guy is now trying to stop any Mortalian intelligence agents from breaching us. Although this guy has apparently got the counter-espionage skill, it probably would have been better to stick him on it. Although he's got psyops and sabotage, this guy just looks to be generally a lot better. Counterintelligence, 3 months, we'll see what we get. And then Steel Territory Map, 1 year. 91% chance of success. Because I've given them a long time to do it. The longer you give them, the better they get it, and the more chance they have of doing it. Alright. Orbital Defense Platform with a hostile race on the border. That seems like a good plan, as is building a new frigate. We found the deadly abyss down here, a new black hole, which will give us scenery plus 74%. So that'll be a good place for a resort. People can go off on holiday and look at some stuff. Ooh, okay, colony ship. Investigate. So the idea of this is that civilizations have risen and fallen. We are not the original space gang. We just recovered it after some horrific event. So you will find lots of abandoned relics out there. What we found is a colony ship. Let's bring the messages back up, see if we can open that one up again. Ship with intriguing information, navigation directions to an ice asteroid in the asteroid field A8. Should investigate. Millions of Acadarians sleeping in stasis habitation. Advanced amphibian race, very cautious, gives insights as the ship empties. So that's the other interesting thing about distant worlds is your empire will not end up being just your guys. You'll end up with a massively multicultural empire, which is cool. So we have an ocean planet on Nasalian 5. Where's Nasalian 5? What I can do now is send the carrying trader to colonize Nasalian 5. Which is right here. So, it's going to be a while before we get to ocean worlds. But, dropping off our newly discovered frozen Arcadians, we will have a second world. So here comes our colony ship. Bunch of escorts have been completed. And we found a second Mortillian empire. These guys are annoyed, but that's just generally. Okay. So it looks like we're surrounded by reptiles. We're in reptile space. And this here is a mining ship. Also heading into Nasalian space. So, here's our colony ship. I always like to watch the first colony. You can see I'm running this on max speed because especially in early game. Okay, independent colony Mortillian. The Mortillians are everywhere. They're space vermin. Okay. Average reptilian race, master engineers, tenacious fighters. So, colonize most unlikely hostile population. So this is in Caliban 3, which is on the edge of our territory. And we found the homeworld for these guys. Very good chance that these guys will attempt. This border is an area of influence, but it's not a hard border. There's no hard borders in space. Very, very likely that these guys will run a colonization ship and they will join them. So things are already interesting. To be fair, I've never played a dull game of Distant Worlds. And here we go, we should have our first colony form. And we've got enhanced new ability to our empire. Has brought the Octarian race to our empire, imparting new special abilities to us. Faster research plus 1%. So, that's 30 million of them. They won't be taxed at this point. But that brings up the other interesting thing is that you get 1% per Actarian. The more Actarians we have in the race, the higher this bonus will be. So your racial balance affects your special abilities, which is fascinating. So we have found these guys. So it's time to check on our intelligence agent. He's still trying to steal their map. So we'll just keep that. Oop, they've put trade sanctions on us. Okay. Well, it's getting interesting outside the rim, isn't it? We found 2 hostile races already. Oh, we've also found Akhtar. Excellent. So this is an Actarian colony. It's recently been raided by pirates. this is their home system. So everyone has their home system in game. And we've just discovered it. Now, the hope is that once they realise that we have Actarians in our world, we'll be able to colonise this and bring it in. So yeah, that'd be nice to bring in. Got like 2 colonies here. So we could build and send a colony ship to there. The chances of them joining are low, but you know, getting there. So we've got a nice little trade route running between these 2 worlds. But that's about it for the first episode. We haven't got very far in. We've got 7 months into the game, but you know, it's going well so far. We've pretty much got ourselves in and sorted, our enemies. I think I've explained the basics. There's still a few things like ship design and stuff like that, but until we've got some better tech, it's not really worth it. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you'll like, subscribe, and join me next time. See you then.